The Internet of Things describes the ever growing number of intelligent objects that are being connected to the Internet and to each other. It is because of this growth that we have buildings that know when to turn our lights and heaters on and off, things that can track the number of steps we take every day, clothing that can give information about how healthy we are, refrigerators that can tell when the milk is over, cars that can communicate to each other, and in fact, they can even let your parents know if you're driving too fast. These things are infiltrating the heart of our existing architecture at homes and offices to create smarter solutions for us. A thing is accessible from anywhere in the world through internet. Cisco has estimated that there will be 50 billion things by 2020. Internet of Things is now a $1 billion business. The very fact that Google has spent $3.2 billion to acquire a company called Nest that makes just thermostats proves this. More data has been generated in the past 2 years than in the entire history of mankind. For many of us, this might be a reason to celebrate as it results in an increasingly connected world. But shouldn't we think about where this data goes? About how securely this thing is communicating? We should never forget that if a thing has software, it is hackable, and if it has connection, it is exposed. So how powerful is IoT if it is misused? Let us look at a few situations. Philips Smart Hue lights have been sold in large numbers since 2012, especially in the European market. The communication between the lights and their controllers is carried out by the Zigbee protocol. A group of researchers from Canada managed to hack into the smart lighting system. As we can see here, they used a drone with a Zigbee transmitter to fly over the city and control the lights in an office called War Flying. They also used a car carrying an attack setup to control the lights at a house. Let us look at a few more scenarios. As we all know, in the past few years, there has been a rise in the number of connected cars. Last year, hackers in the US gained remote control of the steering, transmission, and brakes of a Tesla Model S and an SUV. So, an increasingly connected car is actually a more vulnerable vehicle that can put people's lives in danger. And the danger does not end there. A cybersecurity employee managed to hack his own smart insulin patch. The very thought that someone can give a lethal dose of insulin if they hack the smart insulin patch is horrifying. So far, we saw some examples of safety and security attacks in IoT. But what about privacy? Our most sensitive data is now almost everywhere. Huge amounts of information about us is concentrated in a central server which is out of our control. We do not have sufficient awareness of how protected our data is or how the data is being used. Privacy threats can be categorized as follows. Identification is the first threat. Identification denotes the threat of associating a persistent identifier like a name and address with an individual and the data about him. For example, our voice that is used to control many of these smart devices can be used to potentially identify us. A fitness watch or a smartphone contains the most private of all information, like our name, address, date of birth, credit card information, and health information. The second threat is localization. Localization denotes the threat of tracking a person using the digital data footprints left by him. For example, in a smart city, swiping an NFC-enabled smartphone to get a bus ticket or using the city's smart parking system could leave data trails. IoT technologies will not only support the development of location-based services and improve their accuracy, but they will also expand those services to indoor environments like smart retail. The next threat is profiling. All of us know that just with our search history and our Facebook profile, there is a huge business going on to decide what advertisements need to be displayed on our screen. With IoT, while data collection increases quantitatively by orders of magnitude, It also changes qualitatively as data is being collected from previously inaccessible private part of people's lives. Our dependence on IT is growing faster than our ability to secure it. The researchers at Kaspersky rightly call the Internet of Things as the Internet of Threats. This is because our best practices for Internet are not good enough for IoT. Why is that so? First of all, these devices are embedded systems that are usually low power and those which have minimal computational capabilities. So, conventional cryptographic algorithms that require complex computations cannot be directly used in IoT. Second, these devices are designed to be low cost, which means there are more compromises and hence more vulnerabilities. Things are usually designed to be interoperable. For example, Google Nest integrates with many other vendors. For this reason, there are